you doing? My name is Marquese Johnson. I'm a graduate of Sayre High School. I'm currently attending Corcordia College in Bronxville, New York. I think Sayre has created me in a sense to where as though I didn't know exactly who I was before I graduated Sayre. To me, Sayre was just another high school. I went here thinking that, it was going to be fun and games and you get to sit around with your friends in the hallway. I thought it was like TV, honestly. But being here and just realizing that a lot of guys don't make it out of here. My graduation class, we was freshmen, we had about 100 of us. About only 40 of us graduated. And those wasn't even the guys that we started with. Some of them was transfers in, but a lot of them just left, didn't transfer out, just dropped out of school completely. So being in Sayre, I guess it gave me somewhat of a hard shell, understanding like that nowadays, just being a part of this neighborhood and this community, people don't expect too much out of you. So anything that you do for yourself is worship, whether that's just getting your diploma or leaving and picking up a trade or whatever. So much people respect that. And I feel like that is something that should be already done. That should be something on your goal from the time you step in high school. You're here. The reason you come to school is to get out with a degree or a diploma or a certificate. That's the reason you're here. And I feel like a lot of these students don't understand that. Just how I did in the 9th grade. Like I said before, I thought I was going to be, just a cool kid, play basketball, and mess with all the girls and things like that. But that's not reality. The reality is everything comes to an end. High school came to an end for me, and I don't think these students understand that high school is going to come to an end for them. So they need to prepare for the big world, because the way these teachers care for you, they're not always going to be here to watch over you. So that's kind of what high school has done for me so far. It just gave me, a wide awakening that there is something more in West Philadelphia. Honestly, it's just the adults around me. And that's the positive influences and negative influence, to where though 9th grade, I just moved to West Philadelphia, and just being in the park from 9th grade to 12th grade, the same adults that was on the corner, and they were still there. And the same teachers that were here when I was in 9th grade, the majority of them are still here. And it took for them teachers to see something in me, and the same thing that them outside guys seen in me, and it was kind of innocence. The outside guys, they take advantage of kids who have innocence, and they try to, convince them to do, manipulate them to do things that they normally wouldn't do, that's out of their, their normal. And the good thing is these teachers in here, they took my innocence and they did just as much. They manipulated it, but they did it in a positive way. A lot of them, like Damien, Mustafa, Mr. Joe, somebody named here, Miss Giselle, Mr. Warfield, Miss Smith. So I can go on for days. Coach Sam. They all took me under their wing, and everybody, protected me, and I appreciate it so much. Where even when I see these guys, sometimes I still get emotional, because I can only imagine what I'd be doing if I wasn't in the gym till 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night with Mustafa, or if I didn't stay after school working on papers with Mr. Joe and Zachary. I don't know if you know Zach. He went to Penn too, but yeah, he played football. If I wasn't doing papers late night with him, if he didn't call me to make sure I had my papers done, if Hooks didn't put me on the varsity team, if Gabor didn't put me on the JV team, if Eberly just didn't sit me down, have these talks with me, I don't know where I'd be without them. Damien, especially Damien, I look at him like a father figure. He called me all the time, check on me all the time. He always makes sure I got money in my pocket, make sure I got food in my stomach, make sure I got my head on my shoulders, making sure I'm not sad, I'm not depressed, and it took for them to meet all these adults, understanding that they all have one common goal, and that's to get us out of here, to be not Clark Kent, but Superman, to be more successful than them. So it took about 10th grade to 11th grade for me to realize, like, they actually want something for us. This is not just something they get paid to do. This is actually a passion of theirs, and that's why they chose this field. So I see that probably was the big hump. Getting over that hump to understand that these people want more for me than I want for myself. It was pretty rough at first because, at the time, I never left the city of Philadelphia, like, ever. Never been to Jersey, never been to New York. I just always was a homebody, always stayed in the neighborhood. So the transition to just, changing my life as a whole, being around a bunch of guys that I'm not used to, or people talking different, school being different, and basketball being different, it was rough at first because I was uncomfortable. Everything was foreign to me. Now, moving forward, everything it's been a smoother transition because I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. I'm comfortable understanding that everything is not unicorns and rainbows. It's going to be times you must struggle. There's going to be times that everything feel like it's falling. I'm not the most religious guy, but I do have faith in the higher being, and I feel like everything happens for a reason. Whether that's me getting an F on this test even though I studied real hard, or getting the A, and I didn't study at all. I feel like everything happens for a reason. That's just how I feel about, everything as a whole. I know that I'm here for a reason. I know that I come back to the school for a reason. I know my reasoning. I know why these guys look up to me. And my goal is just to make sure that everybody learns the same way I had to learn from anybody else. My biggest message to them is there's a reality. There's something more than West Philadelphia, than Philadelphia as a whole. It's just, you have to get out of here. And it's not saying that we live in a horrible place or, that you can't be, successful staying in the city, but I feel like in order to understand yourself as a person and take a lifetime to understand yourself, and you must experience other things. You never know your favorite is your favorite until you try other things. You never know your favorite ice cream is your favorite until you try every other flavor. And that's the same thing. Like, you never know where you want to stay. Some people want to live in a quieter neighborhood. Some people good with the city. Some people need a suburb. Some people want to live out in the country. Some people need these things and they don't understand because they're still here. So my biggest goal is just for at least one person to listen. Because it only take one, and I was the one out of my group of friends to go to college, and now the rest of them want to be in college. So it only take one. So when I come here, I just want everybody to listen to me. Just understand that life's not easy. I've sat in the same seats. Half of these kids, I've literally sat in the same classroom with them, over time. And I can make it. And I'm not the most academically inclined. I'm not the most athletically inclined student. But, I've used these things to my advantage. I've had people to lean on, the same people they have to lean on, just to get out of here. And you come back and hopefully you do the same thing. My initial goal was just to make everybody better around me. But I understand I can't help everybody. So if I can at least change a few, then I'd be perfectly fine with that. That's probably the most important part, honestly, because a lot of the help I got, to perfect my craft, well, not perfect yet, but, to work on my craft was after school. Like I said before, if it wasn't for Damien and Mr. Joe, or you don't know, but Miss Giselle and Aunt P, Miss Paulette, if it wasn't for them, then I probably wouldn't be who I am now, because it's easier to get through the day, in school, because you got your friends around you, and you can sit in the class and you can joke around when you want. I mean, you start to be serious, but you can joke around when you want. But after school, everybody don't want to be in school after school. This neighborhood isn't the safest, and so being here, the Nutter Center gave me an opportunity to be safe and work on what I do instead of just being in the playground and anything can happen. Accidents happen everywhere, but I'd rather be in the gym, and work on my craft in the gym. And I feel like the Nutter Center just gave me the opportunity to feel safe and express myself in a bunch of different ways.